Hi everybody, thank you for being here on my channel, and today we're going to be talking about the spiritual life coaching of vibrational frequencies. So this is very interesting and it runs very deep. So there's a lot more information that you can read up about after this video, and I encourage you to read into Abraham's books and series by Esther and Jerry Hicks in order for you to dive deeper into this vibrational frequency pattern and how we attract and manifest into our reality, that is. So to give you a little snippet of what we're going to talk about today, I actually want to take you into my personal experience in order to be able to relate and share with you guys on a more personal level of how this vibrational frequency scale has affected me and ultimately empowered me into creating my reality. So if I can share with you guys a visual, I want you to think of a vibrational scale like an outdoor temperature thermometer. So you have a lower end to the scale and you have a higher end to the scale. It's usually hot and cold, but for today we're going to talk about lower vibration frequencies and then higher vibration frequencies. Of course, there's always a middle, but we want to kind of try to be on the higher end of the frequency scale in order to attract and manifest and create what we desire in our lives. So when I started and began this spiritual journey that I'm on, I was not aware of this vibrational scale. So I was brought up into an environment where there could ultimately be quite a bit of fear involved in new adventures and new things. But growing into a spiritual practice that I was on and discovering my being and my inner self, it was a very, very new experience. That to me brought a lot of fear from a limiting belief system that I carried forward into that journey unknowingly. So I was on the lower end of this vibrational frequency scale. I was very fearful and I didn't know what to expect. So ultimately I was attracting more of what I did not want. I was fearful. I replayed stories in my mind over and over again. I was nervous. I self-sabotaged, and I ultimately did not believe in myself or trust myself. Now looking back at that, I hold myself in a lot of self-love because I didn't understand what I was going through at that time. I also realized that going through things like that at that time was very empowering to me now because it offered me the contrast of what I did not want to what I do want. It showed me that that is not how I want to create and manifest in my life. And it really kind of pushed me forward and excelled into my spiritual journey as to what I want. This video is to help guide you from the different vibrations and how we're creating in our lives at this very moment based on our thought patterns. So if you're sitting on a lower vibrational scale and you are stuck in fear, in anger, in jealousy, guilt, blame, self-doubt, if you are all on that lower vibrational scale and you are aware of that, then you can see how you are creating the reality that is at this very moment. It probably doesn't feel very good. And so when we decide what we don't want, that is now a catalyst to what we do want. It offers you contrast, but it will only offer you contrast if you are aware of that. So now we're taking this energy that we've been putting out for years and we are going to shift and we're going to make this transformational jump to what we do want. That will bring you up this vibrational frequency scale. When you start to feel the emotions of joy and happiness, inspiration, empowerment, and love for yourself and for others, that is ultimately going to make you feel good. And that's how you're going to know that you are on the right path. Now, I'm not saying that feeling emotions of a lower vibrational frequency is not on the right path, because sometimes we need to go through those emotions in order to be able to show us what we do want. I do not know anybody who has sat there in a vibrational frequency of fear and said, I love it and I'm just going to stay in it. They ultimately want to be more happy or more joy, and they are unaware of how they can change that. Ultimately, we change that through our thought patterns, and we can change those emotions by choosing to make that decision. We are creative beings, and we create our reality by the thoughts that we choose to think. So for myself, on a lower vibrational scale, I was putting into the universe a lot of thoughts and creations of illness unknowingly in myself. This thought pattern had manifested much quicker than I thought, and ultimately led me to a very constricting time in my life. I am very grateful for where I ended up at the lowest point in my life, because it was the catalyst and it was the contrast that offered me what I do want. And when you ask for spirit to help you, when you ask the universe to help you, people and events and situations, books, mentors will show up in your life and will be able to help you take the next step. And if you are watching this video, that is exactly what you are doing. And that is exactly what you are creating in this moment. So when you choose to transform, when you choose and you are aware and you realize that this is not what you want, you are now moving up the vibrational scale. Sometimes when we move up the vibrational scale and we're in a place of feeling good, we have snippets of the past that actually show up into your future of where you're feeling good. And a lot of times we get stuck there. I like to say get stuck there, because we sit there and all of a sudden this self-doubt comes in and we question ourselves and we go, well, I'm choosing actively, consciously to make this decision in order to feel good. So why is this thought pattern that I had 2 years ago now showing up into my reality? It is because when you are creating unintentionally, you are creating in the present moment, but ultimately that present moment will come to 2 years of present moments and come to tomorrow of present moments. So what you're putting out into the universe today, you receive tomorrow or at a later date. So in those moments, it's very wise of you to just remind yourself that you are now creating anew, and you can now choose and address of what you want to go forward. Do you want to repeat the thought pattern of 2 years ago and the limiting belief of 2 years ago, or do you want to create in this moment what you want to see tomorrow? So when you move up on this vibrational scale, on this vibrational frequency, you will now very much be aware of how you are creating. And please refer back to this video for you to be able to acknowledge what end of the vibrational scale you're on, because ultimately you create what you put out. Something else I want to mention about the vibrational scale is the vibrational frequencies that we actually attract, right? Because you're putting out, but you're also attracting. So if you're on a lower vibration frequency and you're mingling with other people, you're not going to be mingling with the people of a higher vibrational frequency, which is most often what we want, because we want to attract that. But when you're stuck in that frequency, you're only going to attract other people and other circumstances that are in that frequency that ultimately kind of keep you there, unless you choose to move up on that vibrational scale and actively feel the emotions that go with it. And like we talked about earlier, you will know that you're moving up on the vibrational scale because it will feel good. If you're thinking thoughts that don't feel good to you, you will be very much aware of it if you choose to be in that awareness. If you're thinking about thoughts about not having enough money to pay your bills, or feeling like you have a cold coming down, or feeling like the world is a horrible place, that energy is only going to attract more of, because that is the law of attraction. That is the law of the universe. But if you're in a frequency of higher vibration and you have a lot of self-love and you trust yourself and you trust your spirit and you trust that the world is a friendly place and a good place to live, and that you are very much supported, and that your body is always actively healing and everything is happening for you, not to you, and that you are always taken care of, no pun intended from my book. But if you choose in that manner, that is what you now actively are attracting in your experience right now and for the days to come, because that is your point of attraction. So if you would like to dive deeper after this video in knowing about frequencies and about how you're attracting in your life, I very much highly recommend picking up a book by Abraham Hicks, by Esther and Jerry Hicks, and reading more into that, the law of attraction. There's a series of them, but definitely pick up the book, The Law of Attraction by Abraham Hicks. So thank you for joining another session with me on Spiritual Life Coaching. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel and click that bell for the notifications. If this video resonates with you and you feel like you would love to share it with a friend or family member, please do so. Leave a comment below in the section box. I love reading your comments. And if you would like to know more about the book that I had published for children, it is called I Am Always Taken Care Of. It is a beautiful book that was written for children to overcome anxiety, and there is a free meditation with that book purchase. So you can just go to the link below. It's terryleepepin.com/I am always taken care of. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you next week. Take care.